This is an elimination match between Team Vintage and Team SCW. There you see Team Captain Jesse Neal, a guy who got his start actually in SCW, now working for Team Vintage, taking on Team SCW, captained by the Chocolate Rocket, Tommy Marr. The Chocolate Rocket has a big fan sitting right next to me right now in Ray Ray. She seems to be loving this guy, wearing the Chocolate Rocket t-shirt that I'm sure you can buy at wrestling events such as Marrcade, that's coming up on February 20th, I believe, here in Sanford, Florida. And there you see Tribal, aka Jesse Neal, chasing down Team SCW. Nui Lee in the ring right now. Nui Lee with a big dive over with the cover. The 1, 2, 3. I think there's been an elimination in this elimination style match. Nui Lee getting the advantage there. Nui Lee is a member of Team Vintage. His partners were QT Marshall, were Jesse Neal, and of course Nui Lee in on that team. And now Jason Hex in the ring. Jason Hex picks up Nui, drops him back down. A couple of forearms to the back of Nui Lee, the young Asian sensation, the Bangkok phenomenon, the man with the master plan. And Nui Lee now, I'm not sure who's in control here. Maybe a pump handle slam by Hex, maybe reversal by Nui Lee. Nui off the ropes, and look at this, look at this. Nui Lee turns it into a DDT somehow. I'm not sure how he pulled that one off, folks. If anyone can do it though, it's definitely Nui Lee. And looks like Tommy Marr is about to get tagged in by Jason Hex. Tommy Marr, the captain of this team, misses the clothesline, and Nui with those educated feet. I've seen this move before as a team Fast and Furious with Jarrell Clark. No, the bigger Debo of the bunch, Tommy Marr, just taking down Nui Lee. Nui, oh goodness, that's going to be a cover there. 1, 2, 3, he got him, he's out of there. And Tommy Marr eliminates Nui Lee. And I wouldn't want to be Jesse Neal in this particular situation. QT Marshall early in this match, some moments that might not make it to YouTube, but QT Marshall doesn't seem to be seeing eye to eye with Team Vintage tonight. And there you see Jason X going for the cover, the 1, 2, and only got the 2 count. Folks, make sure to check out Marrcade, not Starrcade, that's Marrcade, the Chocolate Rocket's own pay-per-view event, if you will. Marrcade coming to Sanford, Florida on February 20th, I believe the date is. Check out Wrestling 911 or WrestlingVintage.com for more information. And look at this, Tommy Marr tries to tag in QT Marshall, his nefarious tag team partner, and maybe we'll see Jesse Neal taking on QT in the future. I think QT was just tagged in, and now he was hammered by his tag team partner. Jesse Neal hit his own partner, and going for the cover now is Jason Hex. The 1, 2, 3, QT is eliminated, and now it's down to 2-on-1. I don't like the odds for TNA superstar Jesse Neal as he's taking on Jason Hex and the Chocolate Rocket, Tommy Marr. And remember, folks, the winner of this match, if Team Vintage wins this match, well then Vintage owns SCW 51%, and vice versa if Team SCW wins. So there goes Jesse Neal. Jesse Neal hops into the ring. That man's got a lot of energy. He is a walking 4-hour energy boost right there. And Jesse Neal getting the crowd into this. Jesse's got fans like you wouldn't believe. There's a young boy, probably about 4 or 5 years old, in the front row in front of me, with a mohawk, dressed just like Jesse Neal. The place erupts when Jesse Neal comes into the building. A TNA superstar. You see him with Rhino, the prodigy of Rhino, all-American type of individual, former Navy seaman, if you will. And speaking of seamen, QT Marshall was eliminated earlier, and there's Jason Hex just hammers Jesse Neal, and look at this with the referee turned Tommy Marr, I think, was trying to get involved. Tommy Marr now tagging in with a big foot to the kidneys as Jesse Neal has seen better days. Now look at that, the headlock now applied. Tommy Marr turning away from the referee so he can turn that thing into a choke. I don't think that's legal. Referee there, better make sure that airway is not blocked. You're allowed to block off the blood to the brain there, but you are not allowed to block the airway. And Jesse Neal with a big knee to the breadbasket. I don't know if this guy's going to be able to hold out for much longer representing Team Vintage at Wrestle Brawl. Folks, make sure to come out and check out all the great stars of vintage wrestling. You'll see guys like Sam the Stimulus Shaw, Bruce Santee in the past. Obviously, Sin Bowdy is a pretty regular out here. You've seen Titan in the past. Obviously, Jesse Neal's regular. Thomas Marr, the Chocolate Rocket, is out here all the time. You see Bobby Fonta. I've seen Raymond Snow and Jason Rance and all sorts of big stars. This month we had Sunny in the building, which is just a tremendous thing. We'll have Sunny here in the main event tonight. You saw her come out and escort Bruce Santee to the ring before the event, or before the match. And there you see double clothesline by Jason Hex and Thomas Marr. These guys are a well-oiled machine as they've been wrestling together for years and years at SCW, Southern Championship Wrestling, the organization that cleared the path for 10 years straight in Sanford, Florida. Really, the Orlando-based wrestling organization, SCW, for 10 years was the biggest wrestling organization in the Orlando area. Certainly probably the best known wrestling organization in all of Florida. And I know that's an arguable point. Now Jason Hex going up to the top rope. Jesse Neal might not have much left in him here, folks. Let's see. Jesse Neal now off the ropes. Catches a break there as Jason Hex falls down and splits the uprights, if you will. Jesse Neal certainly wanted to take advantage of a situation like this. Grabs, with the big forearm to Jason Hex. Now going up to that middle rope, going to go for some sort of superplex maybe. Jesse Neal now going up to, on that second rope. And he got it. He just freight trained Jason Hex. Now Thomas Marr comes into the ring with one of those signature Wrestle Brawl chairs and just hammers Jesse Neal, upset that they couldn't get the cover. And Thomas Marr has just been eliminated from this match, leaving Jesse Neal to take on Jason Hex one-on-one. But after a couple chair shots, I don't know that Jesse has much left in him. Jason Hex with the cover now, the 1, 2, 3. Only got the 2 count. I thought it was over for sure after a couple of chair shots. There you see a fan with a 2 sign. Apparently it was a 2 count. That's the Sin Bowdy fan club out there. In the front row on this side, you see the QT Marshall fan club over here. There's also several Mohawk heads supporting Jesse Neal. Packed crowd here in Vintage Wrestling. Like I said, every bit of about 300 people in here. The parking lot is completely full. I had to park on the grass behind the church. And look at this. Look at this. This might be the opportunity that SCW needs. SCW may be making their big comeback, and Vintage Wrestling, it may be over for Vintage Wrestling. You see Jason Hex with the advantage here with the referee knocked out. Jason Hex going to use that chair. And look at this, the signature Wrestle Brawl chair. Great shot of it there. Speaking of chair shots, one coming up here for Jesse Neal. Duck under by Jesse Neal. Jesse Neal, and look at this, shoves him up against the ropes. Spear! Gore! Goes for the cover. The 1, 2, 3. He got it. Match is over, folks. Match is over. And look at this. SCW is no longer Vintage Wrestling owns SCW. Jesse Neal's very happy playing to the cameras, folks. I'm the Snowman. You're watching Wrestle Brawl. And there you see that signature chair with Jesse Neal posing with it. Folks, I hope you've enjoyed this as much as I have.